This video is in addition to video number 10.1. In that video I talked about the fact that within the framework of the hierarchical model of galaxy formation, it's impossible to create thin disks of galaxies with an ordered movement of stars. In it I presented logical arguments indicating this impossibility. But in this video I want to highlight this problem from another side. Let me remind you that the hierarchical model of galaxy formation of lambda CDM cosmology is fundamental today. The main idea of this model is that all large galaxies are formed by merger of smaller galaxies. As is known, simulations are conducted to confirm or refute such models. And such simulations of the evolution and merger of galaxies have been carried out for many years. And since the beginning of such simulations, there has been a problem called the angular moment problem. The problem is that in the simulations, multiple mergers result in bulge-dominated galaxies. A bulge is a spherical or elliptical subsystem with chaotic motion of stars. And such galaxies are the majority in the simulation results. But galaxies with thin disk cannot be obtained in simulations. Also, one group of researchers succeeded in obtaining thin disks and claiming a solution to the problem. But the fraction of thin disk galaxies in their results was very low. And besides, their result could not be repeated by other groups. Possible reasons for the failures were considered to be insufficient resolution or insufficient realism of the simulation model. But more modern models with higher resolution also failed to reproduce positive results. And to illustrate the depth of the problem, I will give some approximate figures. In the observable universe, about 70% of galaxies are spiral galaxies, which are also called late-type galaxies. And among these spiral galaxies, about half do not have a bulge. And it turns out that within the framework of hierarchical model, at least 30% of galaxies of universe are completely impossible. Another 30% of galaxies, which are thin disk spiral galaxies with bulge, are extremely difficult to obtain in simulations. And in total, it turns out that most of the galaxies of the universe are not reproduced by simulations. And this is not a problem of simulations, because it even comes from logic. Because in order for the mergers to result in such thin disks with an ordered movement, these mergers must occur at a certain speed and at a certain angle. In other words, these thin galaxies appear artificial within the hierarchical model of lambda CDM cosmology. But if in some theoretical paradigm something looks artificially created, then it's very likely that this paradigm is incorrect. And the problem here is not the resolution of the simulations or their closeness to reality. It seems that the very idea that large galaxies are created by merging from smaller ones is not correct. And the researchers themselves come to this conclusion, but they don't talk about it directly. But here we need to understand that mergers of galaxies in the universe inevitably occur. And most likely, some portion of elliptical galaxies are the result of major mergers. For example, the merger of Milky Way and Andromeda galaxies would result in a galaxy that looks more like an elliptical one. You can watch simulation of this process on YouTube. And if some part of elliptical galaxies can be considered the result of a merger, then these galaxies are formed in a completely different way. This is discussed in video number 10.